Good Friday afternoon, everybody. I'm KHOU11 meteorologist Tim Pandajis here with your tropical update. We've got activity in the East Pac with major Hurricane Hilary as a Category 4 at the moment. May get a little bit stronger. And it's active in the Atlantic Basin, too. 4 tropical waves we're tracking right now, 2 of which have moderate chance of developing and 1 a high chance of developing. I want to start out in the Eastern Pacific right now to give you a look at this monster of a storm, Hilary here, a Category 4. When we last spoke yesterday, it was just barely at a Category 2 status, so it has rapidly intensified over the last 24 hours. Really, the last couple of days, it's spent rapidly intensifying, which means a big jump in its overall central pressure and its peak wind speeds. Right now, those winds are at 145 miles per hour. That puts it at a middle grade Category 4, and there is the potential here, at least in the window of time of the next 12 to 18 hours, that it could strengthen further and give a run at a Category 5 hurricane status. I want to show you to you here on visible satellite because it is a spectacle in terms of the natural sense of things, even though it's going to be very dangerous, of course, as it lifts closer to land of the Baja California within the next 24 hours. In fact, winds already making it into the southernmost tip. I want to point out that you can see here the eye has warmed and cleared earlier. We may be seeing the beginning stages as storms get this strong. They enter something called an eye wall replacement cycle, and this happens in intense tropical cyclones. And what happens is the eye fills in and collapses in on itself, and then eventually a larger eye will clear on out and warm, leading to a jump in intensification after a plateau of intensification for a little bit, which is why we've been at 145 for a little while now. So we'll see if, in fact, we are getting the beginning stages of an eye wall replacement cycle. Nonetheless, it's up to Category 4, maybe peaking a little bit higher than that over the next 12 to 18 hours, and then it will embark on a period of rapid weakening and picking up forward speed as it lifts towards the north. Here we are Sunday evening at 7 p.m. We're still at a Category 1 hurricane stage with max winds of 75 miles per hour. You fast forward 12 hours to Monday at 7 a.m. and we're down to a tropical storm, potentially likely post-tropical at this point, as it's now interacting with land, and it's spent some time over cooler ocean temperatures, meaning it's away from its warm water fuel source. And of course, land interaction does the same thing. So we'll see a rapidly decaying storm as it lifts into Southern California later this weekend. I want to bring to your attention also, we've got tropical storm watches out for the Southern California coastline. That has never happened before. At least the National Hurricane Center has never issued tropical storm watches for this part of the country. Farther to the south in the red shading there in portions of Mexico, we've got a hurricane watch that's up. That's for the likelihood of tropical storm and hurricane force winds making it into the area in a window of time coming up this weekend. I want to show you the window of time here for further intensification of Hilary. Now, everything that's shaded in red here and even some maroon are ocean temperatures that are warm enough to facilitate intensification of a tropical cyclone. 80 degrees or warmer. It's only got a little while longer over those warm waters, its energy source, and then it will embark on a journey north into cooler ocean waters that do bring about a weakening trend as it lifts off towards the north there. Here's how both of the models see things. This is the European model, bringing a large swath of very heavy rain into Southern California and likely still some gusty winds, maybe tropical storm force. GFS, very, very similar. We've got model agreement here, which adds credence and confidence to the forecast, lifting in the same general direction in Southern California, bringing a soaking rain event and a flash flooding threat on top of power outages from some potentially gusty winds, especially out by San Diego and the farther south you go. Rainfall estimates from the European do put out a good half a foot. In the mountain areas, likely much, much more, which leads to that flash flooding threat. Out of a 4-tiered system of flash flooding severity or likelihood, it is at a number 4 here, high risk, inland from San Diego and Southern California. Let's talk briefly about winds and when the strongest of the winds may likely arrive in Southern California. We're looking here by Sunday, 8 p.m., seeing the possibility of tropical storm force winds, 39 miles per hour or greater, making it into Southern California. But take note, the probability of those winds being that strong are much lower than they are down here because it will be weakening. So in the San Diego area, looking at 40 to 50% chances of tropical storm force winds. This will mainly be a big rainmaker and flash flooding threat. All right, let's jump out into the Atlantic basin now, where we do have several other waves to watch. We've got one with a low chance of developing here, closer to the Leeward Islands at 30%, one right behind it at 40% odds within 7 days, and the one farthest off to the east has the most likelihood of developing, up to 70% odds within the next 7 days. Add in what's going on in the Gulf of Mexico. This has actually been upgraded to a 40% chance in the orange here of potentially tropical development in the far western Gulf of Mexico from another tropical wave here that right now is starting to get its act together over the Bahamas. Right now it's just a dispersed area of thunderstorm and shower activity that's going to try to get its act together and further organize in the eastern Gulf of Mexico by Monday of this week. It slides west, and upper level air features are suitable that it could start to develop a little bit more and potentially get a closed center of circulation, meaning a tropical storm may develop in the far western and southwestern portions of the Gulf of Mexico before moving inland in South Texas with a heavy rain event, which is good news because they need the rain. Drought is ongoing in those areas. Here's the most latest updates in terms of rainfall estimates from the Euro, bringing the majority of the heaviest of the rain into South Texas, and the GFS pretty much in agreement with that, although not as much rain. It's not really counting on much organization here. Euro is a little bit more bullish on an organized system coming into South Texas. Nonetheless, the majority of the rain looks to be in South Texas. If it does develop in the Gulf of Mexico or any storms or waves that we're tracking develop in the Atlantic basin, the next name on our list is Emily. It'll be our 5th named storm of the season coming our way potentially within the next couple of days.